Some of the smartest, weirdest, and most addictive sci-fi stories are hiding in tiny isometric worlds you could dive into right now. These games don't care about photorealism, they care about melting your brain in the best way possible. I've collected some of the best for you to check out. Alright, first we've got a game that's like Disco Elysium's tech-obsessed cousin. Set in a futuristic Warsaw where people pretty much live inside virtual worlds, you play as a digital detective who solves crimes inside games. It's a pretty wild concept, a noir wrapped in neon and VR ethics. There's no combat, no fetch quests, just pure dialogue, deduction, and moral chaos. Every case pushes you into these layered decisions about who people become when the world's fake. It's slow, heavy, and way more philosophical than it looks. Like reading cyberpunk philosophy while hacking someone's subconscious. Gamedec might not have the flashiest gameplay, but it's one of those games that sticks in your brain. Atom RPG wears its Fallout inspiration on its radioactive sleeve, and that's a good thing. Imagine Fallout 2 but set in a busted Soviet wasteland, full of drunk soldiers, crumbling bunkers, and bleak humor. It's grimy, a bit janky, but absolutely packed with personality. Every conversation feels like it's testing your patience or your morals, sometimes both. You build your character from the ground up, and the game actually respects your weird choices. Maybe you're a charming idiot or a genius coward. Both work here. It's slower than modern RPGs, but that's part of its charm. The world doesn't care about you. It just exists. If you ever wanted Fallout but with more vodka, bureaucracy, and moral grayness, Atom RPG delivers in spades. The Ascent is like a fusion of Diablo and cyberpunk. It's a twin-stick, isometric shooter set in a city owned by corporations and crawling with chrome-covered scumbags. The combat's snappy, the explosions are gorgeous, and the cover mechanics keep you constantly moving. You're juggling cyberware upgrades, hacking skills, and way too many guns. What I love is how alive the world feels. Neon markets, slums, corporate towers, all pulsing with detail. It's not a huge game, but it doesn't waste a second of your time. The story's fine, but the real fun is in surviving its mayhem, ducking behind cover while everything around you burns. It's messy, loud, and ridiculously fun. Underrail is the kind of game that looks simple until it completely eats your weekend. It's an old-school isometric RPG set in a future where humans live in underground metro tunnels because the surface is toast. Think Fallout 1, but way darker, more claustrophobic, and a bit meaner. The combat's turn-based and punishing, but once you figure out the systems, crafting, mutations, psi powers, it opens up beautifully. You're not saving the world here, you're just trying to survive it. One weird faction and radiation leak at a time. It's got over 400 areas to explore, all stitched together with slow burn storytelling and that eerie, lonely atmosphere you only get from good underground sci-fi. It's unforgiving, sure, but when you finally master it, there's nothing quite like it. Encased is what happens when someone says, what if Fallout got stuck in a Cold War lab experiment? It's an isometric sci-fi RPG that takes that classic 70s retro future vibe and warps it into something darker and weirder. You're part of a corporation digging into a mysterious dome full of strange technology and even stranger consequences. There's dark humor everywhere, scientists gone mad, bureaucrats pretending to be gods, all that good dystopian stuff. The game clearly loves Fallout, but it's got its own groove. Less cowboy apocalypse, more corporate experiment gone wrong. The choices you make actually twist the story in surprising ways, and it rewards players who think before they shoot. Torment: Tides of Numenera feels like someone made a philosophy book playable, set on Earth a billion years in the future. It's this surreal mix of ancient relics and forgotten tech. Civilizations basically restarted a dozen times, leaving behind ruins that might as well be magic. But this isn't about loot, it's about questions. Who are you? What do your choices mean? Can you live forever without losing yourself? You could talk your way out of almost any fight, which feels refreshing in a world obsessed with combat. It's slow, it's wordy, and it's absolutely brilliant when it clicks. If you like Planescape Torment, this feels like a spiritual sequel that's way more sci-fi than fantasy. A reminder that the best stories don't need bullets, just good writing and weird ideas. Colony Ship is straight up grim. You're born on a generation ship bound for Proxima Centauri. But the kicker is, no one on board will ever see the destination. Everyone lives, fights, and dies inside this metal coffin, chasing scraps of power. It's one of the most hardcore isometric RPGs out there. Brutal combat, ruthless dialogue, and factions that hate you for breathing. You can almost feel the rust in recycled air. Every choice cuts deep, and every mistake hurts. It's like Fallout met The Expanse, but decided to crank the realism up to 11. The writing is razor sharp, the atmosphere's thick with tension, and the game doesn't care if you fail. In fact, it expects you to. It's not for everyone, but if you crave that grim, grounded sci-fi despair, Colony Ship nails it.
Let's talk to the storekeeper.
Wasteland 2 feels like rummaging through the dusty attic of Fallout's weird uncle. It's clunky, messy, and absolutely full of charm. You spend half your time scavenging through busted bunkers and the other half arguing with people who think a toaster is a religious artifact. It's old-school CRPG chaos. Turn-based combat, choices that actually wreck your plans, and that grimy 80s apocalypse vibe that modern games try way too hard to imitate. If Fallout 1 and 2 were your bread and butter, Wasteland 2's the toast you burn but still ate anyway. It's a bit stiff, sure, but the writing? Sharp as hell. You really feel the consequences pile up until your save file looks like a crime scene. Shadowrun Dragonfall is pure cyberpunk magic, literally. It's a future where elves and trolls run the streets alongside hackers and mercs, and somehow it all works. The mix of magic and tech give it this gritty flavor that feels both familiar and fresh. You lead a ragtag crew through conspiracies, megacorporations, and a plot involving a dragon. Yeah, an actual dragon. The game uses fantasy races to tackle heavy stuff, inequality, corporate control, all while giving you deep tactical combat and killer dialogue. It's short, tight, and way more emotional than you'd expect from a world full of cyber implants and fireballs. Dragonfall's the one that really nailed the balance. Less jank, more heart. It's the moment Shadowrun stopped being just a cool idea and became a classic. Helldivers is chaotic, patriotic nonsense, and I mean that as a compliment. It's Starship Troopers turned into a top-down co-op shooter. Democracy through overwhelming firepower. You drop into missions, blow up bugs, tanks, and sometimes your friends, because friendly fire is always on, and that's half the fun. It's frantic, stupidly fun, and surprisingly tactical when you stop laughing long enough to plan. Now, most people will know this from the third-person remake, but the original is also a solid experience. Like a messy LAN party from 2015 that got out of hand. It's pure cooperative chaos. The kind that makes you yell at your screen and then hit ready again 5 seconds later. Now let's quickly talk about instant gaming, the best way to get your games for less. This is an authorized key reseller where you can get everything. New releases, bestsellers, or upcoming pre-orders. You'll find them at a discount for PC, PlayStation, and more. Unlike shady key marketplaces, instant gaming only sells game keys from authorized resellers, so you're getting legit products at great prices. Plus, with a top Trustpilot rating and 24/7 customer support, you could buy with confidence. Personally, I've been using their service for a while and always had a great experience, and that's why we're happy to partner with them. Check out Instant Gaming through the link in the description and start saving today. Alright, now let's get back to some of the amazing games, and the next one is an absolute gem. Rogue Trader finally did what fans had been screaming for, a full-blown isometric CRPG in the Warhammer 40k universe. You play as a Lord Captain exploring the Coronis Expanse, part deep space voyage, part political nightmare. It's got that grand scale Warhammer does so well. Gothic ships, religious zealots, weird aliens, and moral choices that would make a priest sweat. Owlcat nailed the tone. Heavy, ornate, but still approachable if you're new to the universe. The companions are wonderfully strange, and the writing captures that dark, tongue-in-cheek side of 40k. It's less wargame, more space opera. And that's honestly refreshing. For a series that's been stuck in strategy and shooters for decades, Rogue Trader feels like a long overdue evolution.
Tenfold.
Fallout 2 is a legend for a reason, and it's a game I put a ton of hours into back in the day. It's sharp, cynical, and endlessly replayable. The world has that grimy, retro-futuristic feel, like the 50s dreamed of a future that went nuclear. You meet cults, robots, and idiots who somehow run entire towns. You could deal with them however you want. It's the blueprint for basically every CRPG that came after. Yeah, the interface is ancient, but the writing still slaps. It's funny, bleak, and full of soul. A reminder that humanity's biggest threat has always been itself. This is the game that truly made every Fallout game possible.
And then the Zeppelin and the fire!
Arcanum is a fan favorite, and also a bit janky, but you could forgive it because it tried. It's fantasy, sure, but with a grimy steampunk core that gives it this half sci-fi, half Victorian madness. Think Tolkien if he cared more about class warfare and train engines. You could break the game in minutes thanks to its chaotic build system, but that's part of the fun. It's slow, messy, and weirdly brilliant. Magic and machinery hate each other, and you're the poor bastard caught in the middle. If you ever wanted Fallout-style writing with some industrial grease on top, Arcanum's your jam. Rough around the edges, but totally unforgettable. XCOM 2 is pure strategy heartbreak. You'll reload a save 12 times and still lose your best sniper to a 95% miss. The game's mean, cinematic, and constantly tense. Like the universe itself is out to spite you. Every mission feels like your last stand, and when a plan actually works, it's euphoric. The mod scene keeps it alive too, from new classes to total chaos like Teletubby aliens. XCOM 2 hurts, but in that weird, satisfying way that keeps you coming back. Invisible Ink is XCOM's slick, stealth-obsessed sibling, the one who wears a trench coat and steals your passwords. Every move's a risk, every escape a miracle. It's all about brains over bullets, mixing tense turn-based strategy with slick cyberpunk espionage. The art's sharp, soundtrack's cooler than it has any right to be, and the difficulty keeps you on edge. It's that perfect mix of puzzle and panic that makes you feel like a genius, right before it humbles you. This one gives me old school vibes. Alien's Dark Descent surprised the hell out of me. I expected a by-the-numbers tactics game, but it's got this slow, suffocating tension that feels closer to the first Alien movie than anything else. You're micromanaging Marines who are one bad order away from a chestburster party, and every mission has this creeping dread. Motion tracker beeping, lights flickering, everything going to hell fast. It's got shades of XCOM, sure, but there's more real-time panic and way less turn-based safety. You don't get time to think, you react. It's the rare Aliens game that actually feels dangerous instead of loud. It's not perfect, but it nails that sense of, we shouldn't be here, which is all I've ever wanted. Check out the next video, which includes 15 perfect games that shook the world. And thanks for watching.